As I flipped my classroom, I just kind of went through a philosophical change from more of teacher-centered lecture to student-centered. As I moved away from the lecture, like traditional lecture, I found that the kids were spending more time working on problems in class, and especially in physics, it's the working on the problems that really cements the knowledge. So I've moved more toward student-focused practice.
In the beginning of the week, for the first 1 or 2 days, he'd teach us what we needed to know, do the lecture type thing. And then for the rest of the week, he'd give us time to work on questions that he would have on the board every morning and the booklets he would give us.
He had a website, and he posted all of the lessons on there, and he would have a screen capture of the smartboard. It would show him talking about all the subjects and writing out all the equations and writing everything down.
Hello, Physics 30s. Welcome to 10.2 Coulomb's Law. So I want you to take a minute now and read through the notes. Pause the video, read through the notes, and then we'll go through it.
And it's really good because you can pause if you need to and take notes, take a break if you want, go do something else, come back. And it's just a lot easier too, because if you don't understand something in class and he doesn't get to it, you can go onto the website. And if you're really fast learner, you can work ahead and then have more work time in class.
I quite enjoyed having, we could ask the teacher, but also we could work on our own and look online if we weren't sure. And I really enjoyed having both opportunities, especially when I was studying for finals. It really helped to have the online resource and to be able to check and see that what I was learning was correct.
It was really good because you kind of got to work at your own speed, and it wasn't a stress you need to have this concept by this date and this concept by this date. You worked on what you needed to more than concentrating on stuff that maybe others were getting but you weren't, and you were getting things that others weren't, and it kind of made it easier for the class to move forward.
I noticed that students are more engaged, and a bit of that is because they have the time to really work on the questions, and we can tackle a bit harder questions because we have the time in class for me to go and help them and then us to do it together. I also find that I spend a lot more time discussing things with students one-on-one or in small groups, and because of that I build a really strong rapport with them, and we can actually have sometimes some pretty good conversations around physics.
Seesaw is an app that allows teachers, parents, and students access to many tools to demonstrate and show their learning through a variety of ways, using a camera, using a video recorder, just simply taking a picture. It's a very safe platform, and it allows students to develop and apply digital citizenship skills and tools to learn things such as asking for permission, deciding on what they're going to show. And the one thing we found for parents is it opened the classroom door. Nowadays, it's really hard for parents to come into a school and to volunteer in the classroom. And children simply take a picture of what they're doing that day, and they explain to them what was hard, what was easy. And often we find that parents will instantly message their child back or ask us questions or share information with us. And it helps us refine and change our teaching.
Hi Mom and Dad, this is my first book that I made, and I can spell it to you, I can see.
I think the biggest piece for us is taking a look at the continuum of education and either grouping our practices as to be conforming to traditional practices, reforming education to meet the needs of our 21st century learners, or really truly transforming education. An example of how we use Seesaw in our classroom to help transform education would be by using it as a tool for pedagogical documentation, where we truly try to capture what goes on behind the scenes of learning, those processes, not always the products that aren't always captured, truly understand what those students are thinking, what they're doing when they're in the process, engaged in their work, and making that learning visible with our interpretation on it. So just moving beyond capturing the learning and truly showing what students are learning, where they're at in their learning.
I use the Google Classroom platform where I developed about 40 modules, and the students, they can partake and pick different modules throughout the whole semester, and they can choose up to 5 or 6 or 7 modules, and they can work through them, and then when they're finished their theory, then they'll go into the classroom.
I know that for most of our assignments, we always do them on Google Classroom, so we do them electronically for our assignments. But then after those are done and we learn our basic skills for that, then we get to put them to use when we're actually in the workshop lab. He scanned textbooks so they are online, so they're always up for us to use. If you're not confident, you can always double check.
We have quizzes sometimes and he has the book, put it on there so we don't have to pick the book out and flip the pages, we can just scroll, which is way easier. And then he has the questions, and like with other people you would have to get a sheet of paper and then you could do the sheet of paper, but then you have to flip through the pages, and that seems to be taking too long. And like the videos are there, and that's nice because you can look at them whenever. You don't have to be in class to see the videos.
To have it all in one place where I can access it anytime, that's huge for the teacher. It just saves so much time. And I can add to it at any time. I find the SDL program, Student Directed Learning, works well, where students can come in and work at their own pace, getting assistance from the teachers, also assistance from each other. They can do some peer tutoring.
The way that he set up the classroom, it's I don't know, almost inspiring. It's just, you get to, what you're passionate about, you're able to actually conduct and participate in.
Parkland School Division, where the world opens up.